Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm a book loving, notebook hoarding literacy teacher educator on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. And this is the Get Literate podcast. On this podcast, we explore the power of leading literate lives. We talk all things books and reading and notebooks and writing. We lean into our curiosity and creativity and embrace a spirit of lifelong learning to cultivate a life we love. Now, grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's get literate.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Get Literate podcast. If you are listening to this live, the day that this episode airs, or even the week this episode airs, then you know that we are celebrating Thanksgiving. Today, we only have a couple of days before Thanksgiving is here in the United States, where many of us will be celebrating with family, with friends, with lots of food, with some gatherings, and especially some thanks. That's actually the topic for today. Today, we are talking about books that can spark thankfulness and gratitude. So, what exactly is gratitude? Well, if we were to head to the dictionary to find out, we would see that gratitude is defined as the quality of being thankful and our readiness to show appreciation and to return kindness. Now, that sounds like a wonderful attitude to have, but it's not just that kind of Pollyanna attitude that gratitude brings. Yes, it can bring us an improved state of mind, but there is a great deal of research that shows gratitude can actually make our life better. And a daily sustained gratitude practice can actually change the way our brains and our bodies work. I mean, a simple mind shift can bring a whole nother layer of thinking and a whole nother layer of being just because of the way we think. Now, I headed to mindful.org to take a look at some of these documented and researched benefits of gratitude. And here they are. A daily gratitude practice can boost our happiness. It can help us release any toxic emotions that we're struggling with. My favorite, it can help us calm a very overactive nervous system. It can help us build positive, stronger connections with others. It can deepen our resilience, our ability to bounce back when things get tough. It can help us make healthier choices because of the ways that we're feeling. It can help us have better communication skills with others. And I think especially it can help us actually have better physical health. And it's even been shown to boost our immunity. I mean, think about it. All of those physical, mental benefits just by one little change in our mindset. So when you hear this, why wouldn't we all want to intentionally grow more gratitude in our lives? Why wouldn't we want to build a daily habitual gratitude practice? It seems like we have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And the best part, gratitude is free. You don't need anything special to do it. No courses, no training, no materials, no things, just a moment of time and a thought in our mind. So today I want to share 3 books that can spark this attitude of gratitude. I've got a picture book, I've got an adult picture book, and a nonfiction text to spark your thinking. I mean, it is Nonfiction November after all. So let's jump into the first book. I want to share a beautiful picture book with you that will not only help you feel gratitude for what you have around you in your life, but gratitude for the beautiful illustrations you have the opportunity to look at. This book is Thankful by Elaine Vickers. Now, I absolutely adore this picture book. The illustrations are so unique and inviting. They actually are created as what appears to be a 3D diorama. You know, the shoebox creations you made as a kid to celebrate the books that you've read or the content you learned. So literally, when you look at this book, the pictures jump off the page in 3D, and you can't help but just insert yourself into the story, which happens to be set in the main character's bedroom as this little girl considers all that she is thankful for. And she thinks about all of the little things in her life that she has: a home where she feels safe and warm, parents who read to her at night and comb her hair very gently, the first snow that falls, and all sorts of everyday appreciations. Now, she writes each of these things that she's grateful for on a strip of paper, and she creates a paper chain that grows longer and longer and longer. Right, so I feel like we're being nostalgic today. We're going back to the diorama, and we're going back to those paper chains that you made to either decorate your holiday tree or to signal the counting down of some event. But instead of counting down, this paper chain is counting up. And it shows the little girl that one good thought, one good thing, leads to another good thought and another good thing. And it has this beautiful domino effect that she can't help but continuously think of all of these wonderful things that she's grateful for, which is kind of a hallmark of the gratitude practice. One piece of gratitude sparks another, and on and on and on. So this book is just a beautiful reminder to celebrate the small joys in our life and the things that we're thankful for. If I think of the books that I know in my heart that spark gratitude, this is definitely at the top of my list, both for kids and adults. Not only would it help you think of those small joys that you're grateful for, but it may even spark you to get out your own strips of paper and scissors and crayons and create your own chain of gratitude, which, by the way, might be perfect for an upcoming Thanksgiving gathering as we're all sitting around a table and thinking about what we might be thankful and grateful for this year. So that is my first book to share, a picture book, Thankful by Elaine Vickers. Now, book number 2 is a picture book specifically for adults. Thankful was for kids and adults, but this book is just for us. And this is called Things to Look Forward to: 52 Large and Small Joys for Today and Every Day by Sophie Blackall. Now, as we learned from the introduction to this book, Sophie created this beautifully illustrated book during the COVID lockdowns as she tried to regain her own sense of joy. She decided to start tracking the things that she's looking forward to and the things that, as a result, she's grateful for. She paired each of those things with a short essay and a beautifully drawn hand illustration to bring it to life. Now, some of my favorites out of her 52 large and small joys: coffee, baking for someone, a hug, learning something new glasses, something I've needed desperately during the COVID computer days, clean laundry, finding out that it's 11:11 on the clock, the first snow, drawing on eggs. Yes, she literally would take a black Sharpie marker and draw on the eggs in her refrigerator to give herself a little bit of delight later on. The scattering of wildflower seeds to see what happens. Collecting pebbles. Writing letters, which, by the way, will have a great connection to book 3 that I'm going to share in a minute. Making a list. And number 52, which is seizing the day. And I actually want to read this short essay to you. Number 52, seizing the day. For all this talk of looking forward, most of the things on this list can be done right now. Carpe diem. If we make the most of today, we will have a better future. If we view time as a gift, we'll be less likely to squander it. If we look for beauty, we'll be sure to find it. If we help our neighbors, it will lift our spirits. If we finish something, we can begin anew. If we open our minds, we will expand our brains. If we vote, we can bring about change. If we plant some seeds, there's a chance they'll sprout. If we pick the flowers, more will come. If we use up our ideas, we'll think of others. If we remember the dead, we'll feel more alive. If we're kind to ourselves, we'll be kinder all around. And if all of this fails, and it's one of those days, then there's always tomorrow. No matter what happens, the sun will come up. You'll see. Now, this is a book that could be read cover to cover, front to back, in order, beginning to end. Or you might use it as a book to randomly open up to a page when you need it most. Either way, it's perfect for sparking gratitude in those everyday, small and large joys that maybe we overlook, but this book can remind us to take a closer look at. So that's Things to Look Forward to, 52 Large and Small Joys for Today and Every Day by Sophie Blackall. Now, book 3, I gave you a little sneak peek into because I mentioned that it was about letter writing. So book 3 is called The Thank You Project, Cultivating Happiness One Letter of Gratitude at a Time by Nancy Davis Coe. Now, honestly, this is a book that we can really dig into gratitude with. It truly embodies a gratitude practice. So it takes thinking about our gratitude and thinking about the things that we enjoy and we love and we appreciate. It takes it a giant step further and actually expresses that gratitude in written form and shares it with others. So here's the setup. The author decided to write thank you notes, handwritten thank you notes, to the people, the places, and the pastimes that enriched her life as she celebrated her 50th birthday. So, of course, she started with her parents, writing these beautiful, heartfelt letters that her parents ended up posting front and center because they were so appreciated. Now, unfortunately, not so much later, her father passed away. And she found herself so incredibly grateful that she said what she wanted to say before it was too late. And that he passed knowing how much love and gratitude that she had for him. And that sparked a revolution. That sparked the Thank You Project, which continued beyond that one letter into many, many more. And in her introduction, she says, "It turns out that the restorative power of deliberate gratitude, the delight that comes from knowing you will make someone's day when they read your words, the recognition that you, yes, you, are supported and loved as you make your way through the challenges of the world is a heady tonic." So she continued this letter writing and ended up writing letters to all of the people, the places, and even the concepts that brought her joy and that she is incredibly grateful for. And she did this in 3 simple steps that you and I could borrow as well. See, say, savor. So the first step is to see the people, the places, and the things that make your life richer. Don't take them for granted. Stop for a moment and really consider them. See them. Don't just pass them by. And then say something. Say something to acknowledge this good fortune and gratitude that you have in your life. And then the third step is to savor. That's where she makes copies of all of the letters she has written to others so that she can savor that generosity and support and literally see how it surrounds her. So see the people, places, and things that make your life richer. Say something to acknowledge that good fortune and gratitude, in her case, as thank you letters. And then savor all of that goodness by keeping copies and reflecting on all that you have. Now, the book walks you through the entire project in hopes that you will create your own thank you project, much like Gretchen Rubin's book, The Happiness Project, walks you through your own happiness project. So the book helps you decide on the logistics, like who will you write to? How will you do it? Will it be typed? Will it be handwritten? When will you write them? How often will you write them? What will you actually write? Will you send them or not? And there's even some musical playlists for inspiration as she gets you to mine your life for goodness. So she asks us to think about our family and what we're grateful for. Parents, siblings, grandparents, your spouse or partner, your children, your extended family, your in-laws, and your found family too. Think about our friends, our best friends, our childhood friends, our hang in there friends, our past friends that we don't see quite as often. What about the loves in our lives, from our first crushes to our spouses and even our exes? How about influencers that have an impact on you, whether that was in school, at work, doctor's office, anyone who inspires you in your immediate neighborhood, social media, and beyond? But she also asks us to consider writing letters that may not be able to be sent, like to the places that have impacted you, your hometown, places you've been that have changed you, the passions and pursuits that you are going after in your life. But I think my favorite part of the book is the very last chapter. After helping us decide who to write to and what to say to them and how to do that, she ends with a reminder that you need to write a letter to yourself. That yes, we need to be grateful for what is outside ourselves, but gratitude is not just that. Gratitude also comes from within, and we need to be grateful for what we actually bring to ourselves and to the world. Oh, what a gift that was at the end. So, 3 books to spark gratitude. Thankful by Elaine Vickers, Things to Look Forward to by Sophie Blackall, and The Thank You Project by Nancy Davis Coe. 3 very different books, but 3 books sure to spark gratitude, especially at this time of the year. Now, how can we connect to our actual lives? The thing about reading is that it can't actually change our lives unless we do something with what we receive in the pages, right? That's what it's all about. So we've got a couple of options to bring this attitude of gratitude to our own lives. First, we could just grab a piece of paper and a writing utensil and right now make a gratitude list of 10 things, big and small, that we are grateful for. That's enough to be an instant mood shifter. Now, if you want to make it more of a practice, you might challenge yourself to add one daily statement, one daily thing that you find yourself grateful for to your calendar, or your journal, or your notebook. Maybe you're going to be inspired, like Nancy was, to write a thank you note for 50. And maybe if you don't want to do any writing right now, you can just tell someone that you're grateful for them. Whether it's a quick phone call, an email, or even a text, I am sure it would be appreciated. And then finally, maybe you just sit by yourself and you reflect. You think about what you're grateful for, but especially you think about what you're grateful for in yourself. And I imagine this is probably the hardest one to do, but it just might be the one that's most important. So I would love to know how you are cultivating an attitude of gratitude right now. So as always, you can find me on your favorite social media platform at @AfinitoLit, or better yet, you can head to our Facebook group that's dedicated to this Get Literate podcast and share what you're grateful for this week as we come upon the Thanksgiving holiday. So that's it for today. I hope you and yours have a wonderful holiday full of whatever you want the holiday to mean to you, and that you take the time to be grateful for it. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all of the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. You'll also find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life there, like book lists, notebooking ideas, personalized book recommendations, and an invitation to join my Get Literate Patreon community. Each month, we take a deep dive into one bookish theme and work to bring it to life in our own lives. You'll get bonus episodes, book calendars, live book club and notebooking sessions, special events, and much, much more. You can find more about the Get Literate Patreon community at getliterate.co. And one more thing, if you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or just take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and no bookish community too. Thanks for listening.